Hello boys and girls, my name's Tom, and today on the show we'll be picking apart franchises from my childhood, talking about MOBAs and revealing the winner of last week's competition to win Muse's latest album. Should be good. This is Safehouse. There's been a whole bunch of TV news lately, with a new trailer for the X-Files miniseries, a Doctor Who spin-off, and talks for making TV shows out of Alan Moore's Watchmen and the works of fantasy author Patrick Rothfuss. But TV isn't the only place where things are kicking off. With the Premier League, the Rugby World Cup and the NFL season all taking place, it seems like sports is everywhere right now, even in gaming. So here's my good friend and co-host James Pickard to talk about the wonderful world of esports.
With League of Legends Worlds Tournament and Blizzard's Road to BlizzCon kicking off this week, I've been getting back into the esports hype again. Competitive gaming has seen a meteoric rise over the last few years, with tournaments such as Valve's Dota 2 The International offering huge 8-figure prize pools and attracting audiences in the millions. Fans are travelling far and wide to pack out huge stadiums cheering on their favourite teams and players, to the point where developers are building their games specifically around esports, and big sponsorships are coming in for both the players and the games at large. Where StarCraft led the charge in the early days, especially in Korea where it's still played regularly, MOBAs are now the most dominant esport, despite being the most complex and difficult to watch. But the online viewing numbers speak volumes, and if they continue to go in this upward trend, we might see esports at the Olympics?
We've now seen the final trailer for SPECTRE, which is the latest offering in the James Bond franchise, in which Sam Mendes returns to the helm as director and Daniel Craig returns to drown himself in martinis as MI5 secret agent 007. Playing opposite Craig is the hugely talented Christoph Waltz, who will be playing Hans Oberhauser, an old acquaintance of Bond who's returned for some nefarious scheme. But that's the thing. Hans Oberhauser. Usually at this point in the show I'd be dishing out 5 definitely true facts about something or other, but I feel this requires a little more attention. So here's 5 reasons that Hans Oberhauser is clearly Blofeld. Number 1. First things first, a little history. Ernst Stavro Blofeld made his first appearance in 1963's From Russia with Love, playing villain to Sean Connery's Bond. But was he working alone? No, he had an entire secret organisation at his command. What was that secret organisation called, you ask? SPECTRE. That SPECTRE would return with anyone but Blofeld at the helm is at the very least unusual and at the very most total bollocks. Number 2. The jacket. Though several actors have played Blofeld throughout the years, one consistent identifying feature has been his choice of clothing. Notably, this jacket, seen here, here, and right bloody here. Number 3. The scars. The other identifying feature is the scar that runs down Blofeld's face from the corner of his eye to the bottom of his cheek. But Tom, I hear you cry, in this new trailer it sure looks like Christoph Waltz doesn't have any scars. Well, this is true, but if you look at the context clues, the scene that clip was taken from is only, second act? And Christoph Waltz was snapped on set some time ago with these little tracking dots on his face, implying that the visual effects team will be adding something digitally to the actor in post-production. Perhaps the battle with Bond takes its toll in Act 3 and old Oberhauser pays the price. Number 4. The calibre of the actor. Now, while it's not unusual for fantastic actors to turn up as one-shot Bond villains, just look at Javier Bardem, it does seem that with this many clues pointing towards the fact, using Christoph Waltz as some sort of red herring would be a complete waste. And with Blofeld being Bond's constant arch-nemesis over the past 50-something years, it would make sense to have someone as enjoyable to watch as Waltz return again and again to torment Bond for however many films to come. Number 5. J.J. Abrams. Yeah. Oh, JJ played this very trick on Star Trek Into Darkness, claiming that Benedict Cumberbatch was playing a terrorist named John Harrison, even though everyone knew he was Khan. But he kept insisting, not Khan, John Harrison. Definitely John Harrison. And after a while, people thought, maybe he is a new villain, fresh out the box. And then, of course, he gives it the big, I am Khan, halfway through the film, and JJ probably felt really smug about it. I reckon Mendes has seen this and reckons he can pull it off too, but I'm not fooled. Oberhauser is Blofeld.
If you've ever played minimalistic platformer The Impossible Game or Dark Souls, you'll understand our human tendency to challenge ourselves beyond our means for some small glimmer of satisfaction. Enter the Almost Impossible Gameshow, a program that exists in a similar vein to the likes of Takeshi's Castle or Total Wipeout, which rounds up a series of loud and annoying numpties from across the country to undertake a series of humiliating challenges. Such delights include Tiny Bike, where contestants have to cross a thin beam suspended over a pool of mud on a small kid's bike, and the ultimate analogy for the whole experience, Punch Your Own Face, where they have to smash a Mr. Kipling's French Fancy against their forehead with a boxing glove as it falls from the ceiling. People often talk about the dumbing down of television, and the Almost Impossible Game Show defines that concept entirely. If it was in school, it'd be sitting in the corner of the classroom with a dunce's cap strapped to its head, chewing crayons and sniffing glue. Nevertheless, this sort of shit works. It gives us something to laugh at home and a chance for some gurning idiots to get their 5 minutes of fame on television. It does help that Irish comedy duo The Rubber Bandits offer their sarcastic commentary over each of the players' pratfalls, making the show equal parts hilarious and depressing. But then, where else on TV now could you see a grown man shrugging Velcro croissants off his torso?
As video games become more advanced, there's more things that can go wrong with them, which is why in recent years we've seen an increasing number of games with bugs and glitches that make them borderline unplayable. Just last year we had Assassin's Creed Unity with its disappearing faces and NPCs walking through cutscenes, and only a few months ago Batman Arkham Knight's PC release was so broken that it had to be recalled. Well, a new challenger appears. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5 looks just awful. Ever since Robomodo took over from Neversoft as the developers for the series, it suffered from a severe case of the who gives a shits. After 2 failed attempts at a peripheral-based, motion-controlled affair, they've gone back to their roots and tried to create a game that recaptures the glory of the first couple of games. But what they've done is create a soulless knockoff of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 with only marginally better graphics and considerably worse gameplay. Communal game lobbies, meanwhile you're deciding which mission you'd like to be unable to complete due to bugs, you can see other people skating around and falling over for no reason, or glitching through a quarter pipe, or shooting into the skybox. And you'll be lucky if you can escape this Jean-Paul Sartre-esque nightmare, because sometimes the bugs prevent you from even entering a mission. It's a shame to see the franchise end up like this. The first few games were instrumental to my childhood. I was so mesmerised by bombing through Downhill Jam, listening to Superman by Goldfinger, that I spent my teenage years skating and playing in a ska band. And it's hard to see the youth of today being inspired by Pro Skater 5 in the way that the early games inspired me. Unless they one day dream of being able to glitch through the floor. Pro Skater 5 is out now on current gen consoles and is due out next month on last gen consoles. But if you really want a skating game and the money's burning a hole in your pocket, go and get Skate 3. The game came out 5.5 years ago and is infinitely more fun than this. That's about all we have time for, but before we go, we have the winner of the Muse competition to announce from last week. So the winner is Richard Catley.
Whee!
You've won yourself a new Muse album, so use it wisely.
Yes, congratulations, Rich. Thanks everyone for watching. If you did enjoy the show, do give us a like, follow, subscribe, all that usual nonsense.
Yeah, and that's about that. Thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.